Previously on the Central European Odyssey, we travelled to Prague and explored the city on each of the 3 metro lines A, B and C, green, yellow and red. In this episode we travel from Prague to Vienna and start metro line adventures on the Austrian capital's U-Bahn system. So that's 4 days in Prague completed. It's just about time to check out of Hotel Minamino. So we've just checked out of the hotel, not a bad stay overall. Pretty simple, double bed, bathroom. The aircon wasn't the best. I would say that's the only negative, that it was quite sweaty for such weather. Anyway, now we're off to get the Flixbus to Vienna for the next stop on the trip. Let's do it. From Nadrazi Holosevice, it was a short red line metro journey to what I've come to realise seems to be the locals' favourite station, Hlavni Nadrazi, the central train station. Let's take a look around. As you can see, an abundance of stores and food places to stock up before a long bus or train journey. I particularly enjoyed the strawberry donuts from Billa, absolutely delicious. This station does seem to be ideal for the amount of last minute stuff that you can pick up before a trip. Anyway, as a relatively prepared and sensible traveller, these days anyway, I was nice and early for my bus to Vienna, so I had time to chill on the grass outside and reflect on a really enjoyable few days in Prague. I've arrived early for the bus, so I'm chilling in the shade. The bus and train station is in the background here. Making a little video on how to get from Prague to Vienna, because those seem quite popular on the channel, like tutorials how to do stuff. Probably hydrate, pay for one more bathroom visit in the Czech Republic, and then hopefully everything runs smoothly with the bus and we can get to Vienna. It goes directly to Erdberg, which is where my hotel is, so hopefully on the other side it's going to be fairly simple, just like a short walk from the bus station, I think. Could be famous last words, but we'll see. But it's been a great time here actually. 5 nights, 4 days in Prague. It's my 3rd visit here. I've been here previously with some friends in 2006 and then also backpacking in 2009, where both times I was with groups of people. So it's been interesting to do it by myself, obviously much older, and I've still managed to see a lot of different things. I think Vyšehrad and the Petrin Tower and also the Vitkov Hill, those things were all new to me, things I hadn't done before, and probably the 3 best things from the trip. So it's been a really good time. Hopefully Vienna and also Bratislava are going to be as good as Prague, but Prague has always been one of my favourite European cities, so well worth a visit if you've never been. So, if you are catching a Flixbus from Prague, it's likely to be either from Florence bus station or from here at Hlavni Nadrazi. Going up these spiral staircases, we reach a car park and by the side of the road, the bus stop. Some buses going in the opposite direction do depart from the other side of the road, so check the stop information carefully if you are travelling from here. It'll be in the email. This one I'm getting on had already stopped at Florence and was therefore pretty full. And with that, our time in Prague is over and we have to leave this beautiful city behind on the road to Vienna. I've got to say the engagement on all the videos from Prague has been fantastic, so thank you all for that. I'd love to head back and make more videos sometime in Czechia and Prague. If you have any ideas of what you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. This bus journey was scheduled to be 4 hours, but it actually took 5 due to traffic coming out of Prague. As you can see though, stunning scenery between Czechia and Austria. Not sure how the train journey compares, but it'd be fun to check that out at some point, once I've gotten over being scarred by the mess that is the UK train system. Here we are arriving at the, let's say, functional and handily positioned Vienna Erdberg bus station, where we are disappearing through the crowds as quickly as possible to find the nearby hotel. Well, that was a bus ride and a half. It was scheduled to be 4 hours from Prague to Vienna. It actually took about 4 hours 45. We were at least an hour stuck in traffic not far outside Prague. I think it was something to do with roadworks, but potentially there must have been an accident as well, because it was just taking forever. Anyway, we've now arrived in Vienna. It's about 4:30, 4:45. So just trying to find my hotel, which is the Ibis Budget. It's a hotel chain that I often only really stay at in the UK, in Leeds usually, sometimes Manchester. So it's kind of going to be weird staying in one abroad because it reminds me of Leeds really. So let's go and locate that, and then I need to get food because it has been far too long since I've eaten anything. I'm just carrying far too much stuff. Okay, let's find the hotel. We have actually just passed it on the bus, so it should be fairly easy. I think it's down the street. Oh, the other thing I was going to say about the bus, it was absolutely boiling, like 31, 32 degrees outside on the way here. There wasn't much aircon. I mean, Flixbus is fairly cheap. I think it was about 16 euros when I booked it, and I looked online just before I left, and the tickets obviously go up with time, so there was one seat left for 43 euros. Pretty smooth journey overall, absolutely full except for that one seat. And yeah, it wasn't too bad other than the delays, but just far too warm. Hopefully the aircon in this Ibis Budget is going to be absolutely unreal. Alrighty, so a nice easy check-in. The room's fairly basic. These are all pretty standard wherever you go in the world. I do usually prefer to stay in a random hotel of the countries because they're all different, rather than doing something like this, which I would do in the UK just because it's cheaper. But yeah, this is the room. We can sleep 3 people, but there's actually quite a lot more space than usual. A lot more floor space around the bed. It's kind of clinical in a way, but the thing is that the first thing that I've noticed is that the aircon is on and working, whereas in Prague, the hotel was really let down by the aircon, so it wasn't very good. So yeah, comfortable bed, well, they're usually comfortable anyway. Shower, and then the toilet, well, sink is here, and then the toilet is separate. So yeah, there's loads of people in the hotel wearing coloured feather boas, particularly pink ones, and the receptionist just told me it's because the Harry Styles concert is in town, so it's probably going to be a party time in Vienna for the Harry Styles fans. But anyway, now I haven't eaten anything since before that bus ride, so I'm going to get some food. There should be a shopping centre over there. I kind of made this choice because I knew after I got off a long bus I wasn't going to want to trek through Vienna trying to find a hotel and then also trying to find food. So this is just simpler. I know what it is, can get to it easily, and then we can start exploring Vienna properly tomorrow for the other vlogs. Okay, food time. Well, it's a good job I decided to come out of the hotel when I did. It's almost 6 o'clock, and I thought, I'll just go and get even a McDonald's or something, and then maybe some shopping snacks and stuff for later. And I was like, there's a Billa, there's a Spa, there's this Hofer thing, which I guess is like Aldi, and then some other, lots of little supermarkets and stores and stuff. I was like, okay, I'll get stuff late. Then I started looking at all the times. Close at 6, close at 6, close at 6. And then I remembered from my previous visit to Vienna, which was a long time ago, it was 2009, that everything is closed on a Sunday. I think probably except for McDonald's or something, restaurants, whatever, but all of the convenience stores and supermarkets tend to be closed. So luckily I still had a plastic bag with me and managed to get a lot of snacks, wraps, crisps and stuff just in case. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll be able to get food tomorrow, but just for tonight, I don't really want to go very far from here because it's already been a long day of travelling. So yeah, lucky I came out when I did. In a random spurt of energy, I did actually do a little metro quest to Landstrasse for an evening walkabout before the serious vlogging began on day 7 of the trip. So it's the first full day here in Vienna, a very quiet area of Vienna that I'm in. I think it's more like a business type area. It was quite busy yesterday when I arrived on Saturday, but today is Sunday. So I think there's not much going on in this particular area, but we're heading to the U-Bahn and we're going to film a video today about the Red Line. Also, liquid hydration is going to be very important today. There's a heat wave in Vienna, well, in Central Europe generally, and there's some kind of severe heat warning, so I've got the sun cream on, probably looking ghostly, and yeah, trying to make sure I don't die while doing this video. You can probably hear the train in the background. Anyway, so that's what we're up to. As if by magic, we're at the southern end station of the U-Bahn Line 1, the Red Line, starting another Metro Line adventure. As you can see, a lot of stations on this one are heading north and northeast through the Austrian capital. Oberlaa station itself was nicely constructed with a kind of half-open design, but it was here where I quickly got distracted by people leaving the other end of the station in droves. Where could they be going? Turns out the crowds were heading towards a pool and spa complex and a beautiful park and gardens. I did want to hang out longer, but it was time to get on with filming, board the train and breeze through the few outer stations towards Reumenplatz. This was the first area that got the above ground explore treatment, and I quickly came to realise it was kebab central. So I checked out a funky sleeping horse statue and grabbed some food, which was absolutely delicious. From here it was back into the U-Bahn for a trip to the central train station, Hauptbahnhof. A quick breeze through this huge station with stores, restaurants and coffee shops, and it was out the other side to continue heading into the very centre of Vienna. Obviously, on the channel we always love an unexpected pretty church find, and there was a brief moment to look inside at some stunning architecture. From here I wandered through the sun-drenched streets, presumably chatting about great architecture and the hot weather. The full Red Line Metro vlog is already up on the channel if you're new and want to check this out. On the way through some of the more central neighbourhoods we came across another of Nick's favourite type of finds, street graffiti. Some beautiful pieces that clearly got my tongue flipping out. The less said about that the better. At Taubstummengasse, it was back underground for another metro ride, this time to probably Vienna's most famous central area, Stephansplatz, which centres around the city's stunning cathedral, Stephansdom. I took a quick pit stop for food and drinks here before heading back down into the U-Bahn and journeying towards another of Vienna's most famous sites, Prater Park, which is just across from Praterstern station.
To the city streets, we began to feel the fire.
After taking a rest under a tree and presumably telling everyone about how hot it was that day again, it was time to go and check out another of my favourite things, the theme park. A great thing about Prater Park is that you can just wander through and enjoy the atmosphere, or in my case vlog, for free, and then just select any rides that you want to go on and pay for those individually, which sometimes works out better depending on what you want to do. The park has such a nice fun vibe, but it feels sort of chill and relaxed at the same time. It was then off out the other side of Prater Park and through a lovely area, which has the kind of apartments I would want to buy if I make it big on YouTube one day. Here's to hoping, I guess. Beautiful little squares, gardens and parks, which for some reason I didn't film that much of. But anyway, subscribe and make me a superstar. We then reached the Danube River crossing and one of my personal favourite metro stations, slap bang in the middle of the bridge, Donauinsel. As for what makes a favourite metro station, obviously there are tons of metro systems and stations all around the world with fabulous ornate designs, platforms, little mini museums underground. There's all sorts of different quirky ones. I like this just because it stands out as something really different and unusual. The station can be kind of described as a ghetto graffiti paradise, but the unique position of it is just so cool to me. And sometimes less is more. No deep escalators, no fancy entrances, just straight in and boom, you're on the platform. Quirky AF. From the river we then cruised northeast through some of the outer stations and marvelled at the beauty of Vienna's waterways in the evening sunshine. At the final station, Leopoldau, the red line video was wrapped up. Again, if you want to see it, it's on the channel in full with full details, commentary, all of those great things. I pretty much spent this evening chilling in the city centre before the problems started on the next day, day 8 of the overall trip. So it's another scorching hot day in Vienna. I think it's early 30s, 32, 33 degrees Celsius again, but with a lot of humidity, it's really draining. Today I'm kind of on my way to film another video. I've been filming these sort of consecutive days and it's almost, I feel like it's time for a day off, but I was either going to do one on the orange line, which I'm staying on and kind of going down now, or on the red line of the U-Bahn. No, I was going to do the purple line today, the line 2, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not. We'll see coming up, because I'm on the orange line now, but there's some problem with it and all of the trains are just going down track 1 rather than track 2, so both directions are having to go down the same track. And then the train just stopped randomly a few stations from where I wanted to be to change lines, and then everyone's just getting off, the aircon's not working. I don't know if it's because of the heat that nothing's working, but the aircon's not working, so it's just like an absolute sweaty mess down there. So I've just come out at one of the stops, and I might just have a wander around and, to be honest, just get some tea. But yeah, maybe video's coming today, maybe it's not. Could be one of those days on the road. 2 things Nick is not good with: 1, my plans being derailed, and 2, being a sweaty mess. Uh-oh. So here we are waiting to see if the metro is going to move. Unimpressed. After a while, well, way too long to be honest, we managed to make it out to the easternmost station on the purple U-Bahn line, or line 2, to begin filming another metro line adventure. But guess what? I'm still in a mood. So I've decided we're going to try and salvage a video out of today, because I only really have 3 full days here to do U-Bahn line 1, 2 and 3. I think in the video yesterday I called it the U-Bahn, which, you know, British, U. And then I thought actually it's probably going to be U, isn't it, because of German. So yes, we're going to try and do line 1, 2 and 3. So today would be 2, the purple line. But yeah, actually maybe doing it later in the day is going to help, because the weather has been like 35, I think it's still 34, something like that, but it's clouded over a little bit, as you can see there. It's a bit more breezy. And here we're about to start filming the purple line video at the end station, which is Seestadt, and they have all of these like spraying things, so I might actually get sprayed. It doesn't look that warm on camera, it just looks like a cloudy day, but it's absolutely boiling. Line 3 is all shut down now due to a signal failure, so it could actually be difficult to get back to the hotel later on unless they get that fixed. Then there was something else on the green line when I was trying to like change lines to get here. Then it's like, oh, pop into Starbucks, or their aircon's not working, their toilets are not working. So disaster so far basically. So filming for this purple line adventure began in the sprinklers, which did automatically cheer me up. Well, slightly anyway. The Seestadt area at the start of this line was quite a quirky and random one, with plenty of focus on creating an eco-friendly environment, but sort of having a man-made, purpose-built vibe too. Kind of a strange one really. Interesting but weird. As you can probably tell, I can't quite decide whether I liked it or found it a bit soulless, but it was a great place for locals to cool down in the water, and there was a relaxed feel overall. It was then onto the U-Bahn for an overground metro cruise through the first few stations on the line, which mainly featured apartments and open fields. I don't think it would have been that easy to walk through. Overall, this journey was going to take us on an 11.8 kilometre trip west through Vienna. We took a brief break from riding the U-Bahn at Hardegasser, where my bad mood, because of the earlier train chaos and the cloudy, muggy, horrible, humid weather continued. But hey, I did get some drinks and snacks from Spa, so things were looking up. I then picked out a tree to sit against and eat/moan about the various things that had happened. Check out the full Purple Line vlog already on the channel if you hate the always chirpy and always happy vloggers, because that's just not me. I feel as though being in a mood shows some kind of range, right? Anyway, there was plenty more to see, so it was back onto the train. I advertised the importance of hydration at the next station and then moved further towards the Danube River. We next arrived at Donau-Stadtbrücke, where my mood finally started to lift. I think it was partially helped by the river views and partially the sugary drinks and snacks kicking in. The plan from here was to explore the riverside area on each side and then walk over to the next station. In reality, there was some water skiing in the river and actually plenty of people walking about. On the footage it looks much quieter than it actually was. After walking across the bridge, it wasn't obvious how to reach the next station, so at the time I took the train again. Turns out there was actually a walkway connected to the side of a different bridge. I didn't realise that until later though. From there, we took a walk around Rapid Vienna's football training facilities and managed to eventually find a way through to the stadium. And also to the next Purple Line U-Bahn station, appropriately named Stadion. Filming these Metroline adventures can always be pretty hit and miss depending on a number of factors, such as the time of day, weather, sites located in and around that particular line, special events, sometimes pure luck on the day that you're filming. Some of them are just so easy to do and some of them are much more tricky. This particular day continued to be quite, let's say, challenging. The Purple Line then took us back to one of my favourite areas from the previous day's Red Line video, the area surrounding Prater Park. This area contains a university campus which has a lot of nice buildings and grassy areas that lead through to a different entrance to Prater Park. Filming for the Purple Line video was on a Monday and therefore the park had a far more relaxed feel than the previous day. Again, an absolute must if you're visiting Vienna. After strolling through Prater Park, we then headed back into the U-Bahn at Praterstern and travelled a couple more stops to Schottenring. This area just outside the station was an absolute vibe at sunset, lots of great music playing which presumably would get copyrighted on the good old YouTube, so unfortunately we can't hear that. After sitting and enjoying the atmosphere for a while, it was time to use the U-Bahn tunnel to cross under the river and walk through a little shopping area, followed by what looked like a fairly posh businessy area towards the fairly randomly placed final station, Schottentor. After wrapping up the Purple Line video, I took a little tram ride around the few stops in the city centre that technically add to part of the Purple Line, which was rather random. As night fell, I considered the chaos that had been day 8 of the trip. So that's filming done for today on the U-Bahn Line 2 Purple Line video, which was really chaotic to make. Hopefully I can edit it to look less chaotic than it actually was. But anyway, now I'm trying to head back home, well, to the hotel, which is in Erdberg on the orange line. So line 3 has been down for part of the day due to signalling, as I was saying earlier. And I'm not sure if it's back up. There were announcements even on the other lines telling people about it, which have now stopped, so I assume it's okay, but fingers crossed everything's going wrong today. Even then I just tried to take a green line connection to get to the orange line, and 2 of the stations again were closed, so I had to take a tram round here, so it's just been one of those days really. Fingers crossed we can get home alright. Coming up in the next episode of Central European Odyssey, we explore the delights of the U-Bahn's Orange Line, travel from Vienna to Bratislava by bus, and discover what the Slovakian capital has to offer. Look out for part 4 either on the end screen or uploading soon.